The Fisherman Who Survived 438 Days Lost at Sea Part 3. The voices in the ocean. The days blended together, then the weeks, then the months. Time itself seemed to disappear. The fisherman no longer knew what day it was. He couldn't remember how many weeks had passed. Sometimes he wasn't even sure what month it was. The sun rose. The sun set. The ocean remained the same. Endless, silent, unforgiving. At first, he tried keeping track of time. He counted the days. He marked them in his mind. But eventually the numbers became meaningless. What difference did it make?
Nobody was where he was.
Nobody knew where he was. The world he once belonged to felt like a distant dream. Sometimes he wondered if it had ever existed at all. His appearance had changed dramatically. His beard had grown wild. His hair hung down in tangled knots. His skin had become dark and weathered from constant exposure to the sun. The man staring back at him in the reflection of the water no longer looked familiar. It looked like a stranger. One evening, as the sky turned orange, he heard something. A voice, soft, distant, calling his name. He sat upright instantly. His heart pounded. He looked around. Nothing. Only water. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe the wind had played a trick on him. He shook his head and tried to ignore it. But the next day, he heard it again, this time clearer. Someone calling. Someone speaking. Someone nearby. He jumped to his feet. Hello. His voice echoed across the ocean. No answer. Only silence. The fisherman felt a chill run down his spine. He knew what was happening. Loneliness was beginning to affect his mind. The human brain isn't designed for complete isolation. People need conversation. People need connection. People need other people. Out here, he had none of those things. The ocean had become his entire world. And the ocean doesn't talk back. Soon the voices became more frequent. Sometimes he heard old friends. Sometimes family members. Sometimes people he hadn't thought about in years. Voices felt real. Terrifyingly real. There were moments when he actually believed someone was nearby. Moments when he searched the horizon hoping to find another boat. But every time there was nothing. The realization hurt more each time. One night, he dreamed he was home. He could smell food cooking. He could hear laughter. He could see familiar faces. For the first time in months, he felt happy, safe, loved. Then he woke up. The dream vanished instantly. He was back on the boat, back in the middle of nowhere, back in the endless prison of the Pacific Ocean. The pain was unbearable. He buried his face in his hands and cried. Not because he was weak, not because he was afraid, but because he missed being human. The loneliness had become a physical wound, a wound nobody could see, a wound that never healed. Days later, another storm arrived. It appeared suddenly, like a predator emerging from the darkness. The sky turned black. The wind howled. Rain hammered the boat. The fisherman had survived storm, but this one felt different. This one felt personal. The waves were larger than life. Each crash threatened to destroy the boat. Water filled the vessel. The fisherman desperately scooped it back out. Again and again.
The Pacific
and again.
Owns me now.
For hours he fought. Every muscle in his body screamed with exhaustion. The storm showed no mercy. Then came the rain, the largest he had ever seen. A towering wall of black water. It rose above him like a mountain. For a brief second, everything became silent. Then it struck. The boat flipped violently. The world exploded into chaos. The fisherman was thrown into the ocean. Cold water swallowed him instantly. Darkness surrounded him. Panic took over. He kicked, struggled, fought his way back to the surface. When his head finally broke through the water, he gasped desperately for air. The boat floated a short distance away. He swam toward it with every ounce of strength he had left. Behind him, lightning illuminated the sea, and for one horrifying moment, he saw dark shapes moving beneath the water. Sharks. The hunters had returned. The fisherman pushed harder, ignoring the pain, ignoring the exhaustion,
The Pacific owns me now.
He reached the boat, grabbed the side, pulled himself aboard, and collapsed, breathing heavily, alive. Once again, the storm eventually passed. Morning arrived. The ocean became calm. as if nothing had happened, as if it hadn't nearly killed him during the night. The fisherman sat silently, looking out across the horizon. His body survived the storm, but his mind was beginning to break. The voices were getting louder. The loneliness was growing stronger. And somewhere beyond the endless horizon, fate was preparing another test, one far more dangerous than storms. One that would force him to confront death face to face. Because soon, the ocean would stop providing enough food, and hunger would return stronger than ever. Fire, thank you so much for watching. Click on the subscribe button and watch out for part 4.